let's talk about the sexual maturity or puberty in humans, right? Let's talk about the males first. When do we say that a male has attained the sexual maturity? The onset of puberty, that is sexual maturity in boys, is at the age of 12 to 15 years approximately. Right, from the age of 12 to the age of 15, the boy attains their sexual maturity or they attain their puberty. The testes start producing an hormone called as testosterone, and the testosterone leads to the formation of secondary sexual characters in male, like hoarse voice, mustache, beard, chest, hairs on the chest. Right, these are the secondary sexual characters which start to appear as soon as a boy attains puberty. The testes of the males remain functional, or they keep on producing sperms throughout their lifetime, right? From the time they become capable of doing so till the time a male will die, the testes will continue to produce the sperms. Let us talk about females. The females' onset of menstrual cycle, the beginning of the menstrual cycle or menarche, right? The age is 10 to 14 years of age. That is the age when the female attains her puberty. The woman shows cyclic changes in the reproductive system during the menstrual cycle. The menstrual cycle continues till menopause, right? It begins at 10 years of age, suppose. So it will continue to 45 to 50 years, right? Menarche to menopause. This particular time period in the life of the female is called as the reproductive phase. During this time, the female can naturally give birth to a child, whereas after she goes into a menopause, right, women are unable to naturally bear children after menopause. So after most probably 45 years of age, as soon as the menopause begins, the woman will not be able to naturally bear a child. Naturally means then by nature. You can make a woman a mother with some artificial techniques, but naturally she is not capable of bearing a child. Then there are gonadotropic hormones which are controlling the reproductive life or puberty of a female. They control the menarche, they control the menopause, and they also control, or they have a control over the menstrual cycle. Students, let's start with menstrual cycle, an important event in female reproductive system, and it marks the puberty in females. Right? Menstrual cycle is also called as ovarian cycle because there are changes taking place in the ovary during this particular period. The characteristic feature of primates having a menstrual cycle is a characteristic feature of primates including humans. All of them have menstrual cycle. It involves cyclic changes, right? During the menstrual cycle, there will be cyclic changes which will repeat after the cycle is completed, right? The changes that are taking place in a single cycle will again get repeated when the next cycle starts. So there are cyclic changes inside the ovary also, and at the same time there are cyclic changes inside the uterus also. There are changes due to, and the changes are due to the presence of gonadotropins, that is estrogen and progesterone, and some ovarian hormones are there, which together lead to the changes during the menstrual cycle. Menstrual cycle is repeated every 28 days, right? After every 28 days, a next menstrual cycle starts. The middle of the menstrual cycle is characterized by the ovulation. Okay? If you talk about the exact middle of the menstrual cycle, there is ovulation taking place, that is release of egg from the Graafian follicle. The egg during each cycle comes one from the two ovaries alternately, right? So a female has two ovaries. One ovary will release egg this time. Next month the other ovary will release an egg. The cycle is divided into 4 phases. So the ovarian cycle is divided into 4 phases: the menses, the proliferative phase, the ovulatory phase, and the secretory phase. Students, we are still in the female reproductive system, and we are going to start with an important event in a female reproductive system, which is menstrual cycle, which marks the reproductive age of a woman, right? So let us know about the menstrual cycle. The menstrual cycle is divided into 4 phases, and we are going to study the menstrual cycle in those 4 stages or phases. Here I have drawn in short the menstrual cycle. It is also there in your book. If you look at this diagram, here you have phases of menstrual cycle. The 4 phases are here, right? The days from day 1 to day 28 it is given. Then changes in the uterus is shown here. Then the hormonal levels, estrogen and progesterone, and the changes in the level of estrogen and progesterone. Then this is the changes that takes place in the ovary, and these are the hormones which show changes during this particular 28 days, that is FSH and LH hormone. Let us talk about the first phase of menstrual cycle, and the first phase of menstrual cycle is called as menstrual phase, or it is also known as menses, or it is also known as a bleeding phase, because this is the day or day 1. It is called as menstrual phase. The reason it is that is the bleeding starts from that particular day. So it's the beginning of each cycle. The phase marks the beginning of menstrual cycle. Day 1, loss of blood starts. The uterus starts giving out or discarding the preparations made by the uterus for the baby, but because fertilization did not take place, the uterus starts discharging the different preparations that were made, correct? This menstrual cycle or this phase lasts from 3 to 7 days, differs in every girl. Some might have 3, some might have 4, some 5, some 6, some 7. So on an average it lasts from 3 days to 7 days. Let us talk about what are the changes that takes place inside this particular phase. Let us talk about endometrium. It breaks down to decrease, right? What is the endometrium? Now this is what is the endometrium lining, or the innermost lining of the uterus, which had been built up to receive the fertilized egg. But because the egg did not fertilize, the endometrium starts breaking up, right? The endometrium is breaking down, isn't it? And the reason why it is breaking down is that the estrogen and progesterone levels have fallen down, correct? The level of estrogen and the level of progesterone has decreased, and the decrease of these levels triggers the breakdown of the endometrium, right? Now during this breakdown, what is discharged? Let us talk about it. The blood, the tissue fluid, mucus, endometrial lining, and unfertilized oocyte is discharged out of the uterus through the vagina. So what is this endometrium made up of? It is having blood, it is having tissue fluid, it is having mucus, it is having unfertilized oocyte, it has endometrial lining, and all that preparation which was to receive the zygote, because the zygote was not formed, that preparation is being discarded out. It is thrown out of the uterus, and it comes out of the body of a female through the vagina. Then the endometrium line becomes thin after this phase gets completed. If you talk about the endometrial lining, it has become thin. How thin it can be? It will be as thin as 1 millimeter. Menstrual discharge continues for average 5 days. So it starts from day 1 on an average approximately, right? It may differ from a girl, from a female to a female, but if you talk about an average, normally the bleeding phase is for 5 days, that is the first day when the bleeding starts and the 5th day when the bleeding ends, the blood does not clot, right? So if you must have seen that if you get an injury, the blood clots. But in menstrual cycle, there is bleeding but the blood does not clot, and the reason why the blood does not clot is the presence of fibrinolysin, that which is present in the blood, which does not allow the blood to coagulate. Now it takes the menstrual phase or the bleeding phase takes place when the egg is not fertilized, and it is also known as funeral of egg. The bleeding phase is having another name and it is called as funeral of egg, or it is having one more name. It is also said that it is the crying of the womb on the loss of the ovum, right? Now these were the changes that takes place in the uterus. Let us talk about what changes takes place in the ovary, right? So during the time the endometrium is breaking down here, there are certain changes seen in the ovary. Many primordial follicles develop into primary follicles. So these are primordial follicles. These develop into primary follicle. Many primordial develop into many primary follicles, right? Out of that, only a few primary follicles will develop into secondary follicle. And if you see, there is a rapid degeneration of the primary follicle and secondary follicles, and that is called as atresia. We will continue with the next phase. Next phase of menstrual cycle is the proliferative phase, also known as follicular phase, because here the Graafian follicle is maturing. At the same time, it is called as post-menstrual phase because it comes after the bleeding phase, right? It is coming after the menstrual phase. Now in this phase, let us talk about what happens in the uterus first, right? This phase starts with end of menstrual phase or before the beginning of ovulation. So it is a phase which is in between two phases, right? Before it there is a menstrual phase. After that phase we have an ovulationary phase, and in between these two phases there is a proliferative phase, right? The time period for this particular phase is it is most probably the time period is where the 5th day the bleeding stops and 6th day to 13th day, right? So the proliferative phase starts from day 6. Suppose the menstrual cycle ends today or bleeding phase ends today, immediately next day, the 2nd day, right? What starts? The proliferative phase starts. It starts on day 6 and it ends on day 13th. Let us see what happens in the uterus. The endometrium regenerates under the influence of estrogen. Now you can see the estrogen level has risen up, correct? Under the influence of this estrogen, because of high level of estrogen, the endometrium is again building up, correct? The endometrium is regenerating, right? Forming again. The endometrium is again getting formed, right? Now what involves in regeneration? Regeneration involves the formation of endothelial cells. So what is endometrium made up of? There are endothelial cells in it, there are uterine glands in it, and there is network of blood vessels. So what is happening? The endometrium is rebuilding itself, reconstructing itself, and in this reconstruction the endothelial cells are getting added up, the uterine glands are getting formed, and there is a network of blood vessels. Now the thickness of endometrium, which went down, it was 1 millimeter. After the 5th day, it starts, the endometrium starts getting thicker, and the thickness will be some 3 to 5 millimeters. Let's talk about the changes taking place in the ovary in the proliferative phase. Right? We saw that there are certain changes taking place inside the uterus regarding the endometrial lining. Now let us talk about the changes that are taking place in the ovary. What is happening in the ovary is 6 to 12 secondary follicles proceed or they go ahead, right, to develop Graafian follicle. So how many of them are going to take their chance to develop into a Graafian follicle? Nearly 6 to 12 secondary follicles are going to try to get themselves converted into a Graafian follicle. But usually, normally, only one of the secondary follicle develops into a Graafian follicle. Right? This developing follicle or the follicle which is developing, right, it starts secreting estrogen. Right? Under the influence of estrogen, because of the estrogen secretion, right, what happens? The follicle is proliferating, right? It is maturing, it is growing bigger, right? And why is the follicle growing or maturing? It is under the influence of estrogen. At the same time, the follicular proliferation is also because of the gonadotropin releasing hormone, that is GnRH, right, which stimulates the release of follicle stimulating hormone, and that is how the follicle or the new follicle grows in size, which is called as grows in size and matures, and which is called as proliferation. So this was the second phase, proliferation. Let's talk about the third phase of menstrual cycle, and it is called as ovulatory phase. It is the shortest phase, right? The phase extends only up to 1.5 or at the most 2 days. Correct? It is the shortest phase. It involves rupturing of mature Graafian follicle. So you can see that this is day 14, and you can see the mature Graafian follicle has ruptured or it has burst open to give out an egg, or which is also called as secondary oocyte. So what is released? The secondary ovum is released, right, and it is released into the pelvic cavity of the female on day 14. Now how does this rupturing takes place? Right, during the ovulatory phase there is a rapid increase of luteinizing hormone in the body of female. The HL, the luteal phase it is called as, the LH level increases very rapidly. Under the influence or because of this LH hormone, the follicle breaks open, correct, and that is called as rupturing, and the egg is released into the pelvic cavity of the female, right. The day when ovulation takes place, right, the female may feel a mild to severe pain in her lower abdominal cavity. So when ovulation takes place, the female might have pain in her lower abdominal cavity. The pain might be mild, very less, or it might be very, very severe. Students, let's start with the fourth phase of menstrual cycle, and it is the secretory phase, also called as luteal phase. This is the phase which is present in between the two phases, that is the secretory phase, right. Before the secretory phase there is an ovulatory phase, and after the secretory phase there will be the second bleeding phase, right, the next bleeding phase. So it is in between the two phases, right. It is the longest phase, right. If you talk about the phase, it is the longest phase. It starts from day 15 and it continues till day 28, right. So it is the longest phase, lasts for about 14 days. If you count the days from 15 to 28, those are 14 days. Begins on day 15, right, here, and it ends on day 28. Here what happens is, in the ovulation phase, the oocyte or secondary oocyte has been released, right, ovulation has taken place. Now what is left is the empty follicle. The empty follicle is left, and this empty follicle now is called as corpus luteum, right? The empty follicle is called as corpus luteum, right? This corpus luteum, right, this empty follicle acts as a temporary endocrine gland. It starts secreting estrogen, progesterone and inhibin, right? What is the function of corpus luteum? It acts as a temporary endocrine gland. It starts secreting estrogen, progesterone and inhibin. This corpus luteum will remain functional till the next 2 weeks. How long it will function? It will function as an endocrine gland for the next 2 weeks. So those are the 14 days. Throughout those 14 days, this corpus luteum is going to be functional. Corpus luteum secretes progesterone, estrogen and inhibin hormones. Now these hormones, what are their functions? They help the development of endometrial glands. You can see the endometrial glands here. They grow, they become coiled, they coil themselves and they start uterine secretions. So what are the effects of the progesterone, estrogen? Right? They make the endometrial glands develop, the endometrial glands grow, they become coiled, they start uterine secretions. The endometrium becomes thick, nearly 8 to 10 millimeters, and it becomes more vascularized. You can see more amount of blood vessels in that particular layer. What is the work of the inhibin? Inhibin will stop secreting the follicle stimulating hormone, right, till the time the fertilization and implantation takes place. So for fertilization to take place and implantation to take place, the FSH level has to go down, right? So inhibin reduces or stops the secretion of follicle stimulating hormone, giving a chance for the egg to get fertilized and for the implantation of the zygote. But if egg gets fertilized, and if the embryo gets implanted, then there is secretion of another hormone in the uterus, and that is called as HCG hormone, which is called as human chorionic gonadotropins, right? And this hormone, that is HCG hormone, will increase the life of corpus luteum. Earlier, corpus luteum would survive only for 2 weeks, but because of HCG hormone, if pregnancy is there, then HCG hormone will increase the life of corpus luteum, right? This hormone, if found in the urine and blood, HCG hormone, if found in urine and blood, it indicates that the woman is pregnant. So students, if the egg does not get fertilized, right? Earlier we saw if the egg gets fertilized, then, right? Now if the egg does not get fertilized within 24 hours, right, then what happens? After the 2 weeks of that corpus luteum, the corpus luteum, after waiting for 2 weeks, will get converted into corpus albicans. The corpus albicans will reduce the level of estrogen and progesterone in the blood of the female, which will lead to the next bleeding phase or next menstrual cycle or menses, correct? So from here the next menstrual cycle will begin.